Hey there, this is CUSD Math 7, Unit 5, Lesson 10, called Multiply. Alright, and our first three questions are our cool downs today. And it says, Noah was doing some homework and answered the following questions. Do you agree with his answers? If you disagree, explain your reasoning. So let's take a look at these computations here and decide if you agree with what his solution is going to be. And it could be that the computation, the actual answer, is wrong in terms of the numbers there. Or it could be that the signs are wrong. Okay, we have a positive times a negative. Gets a negative answer there. That's looking pretty good so far, but I don't know if the math is right. So you might want to check that out. Do that for all three of those, and that's your cool down part of your homework based on today's lesson. Okay, I'm going to move down to number 4. There we go, number 4. It says find the value, and here we have a whole number times a fraction. And like we saw in yesterday's homework, the best thing to do here is to eliminate the fraction part and see that 4 goes into 16 4 times. So I can reduce there. So I have negative 7 times a 4 times a 1, and 7 times 4 is 28, times 1 is 28. Negative times a positive is a negative, and there we go. This problem here I actually like because if you rewrite it as a fraction, 1 over 100 times negative 1/10 times 10 over 1 times the negative 100 over 1. You get some nice reducing, right? 100 reduces with that 100 to be a 1. 10 reduces with that 10 to be a 1. So 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. And then 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. Positive times a negative is a negative. Negative times positive is negative. And negative times negative is positive. So you end up with just simply 1. Kind of fun. Alright, number 5. This is a problem we've done a few times now, something like this here. If a bank represents deposits with positive numbers and withdrawals are negative, what could this represent? We've had problems like this for the last 2 days, so look back at your notes and figure out what could this represent. In fact, this is just like one you did back on, I think, lesson 8. Look back here. Yep, here's lesson 8, number 5. We had 8 and negative 20. What does this mean? So here we have 8 and negative 50. What does this mean? So take a look back at your notes and see what you come up with. Number 6, complete the table. What do you notice about the results when multiplying the signed factors? So 10 times 4 is 40. Negative 10 times 4 is negative 40. So they want you to take a look here. What do you notice? What do you wonder? Right? We have the same numbers, but this different positive, negative, well, 0, 0. This here we have positive times negative is negative. Negative times negative is going to be a positive. Negative times negative is a positive. Negative negative is a positive and a positive. So what are some things you notice here happening in this table? Just write down in your own words, what do you see happening? Alright, number 7 says circle the expressions which result in an answer of negative 4. So what you want to do is solve each one and decide which one's going to be negative 4. So just some math work to work through there, and it needs to be a negative 4 as a solution. Okay. Now notice they all have a negative times a positive. Each one of those is a negative times a positive. So you know they're negative. That part's good. The question is the answer going to be 4? So work on that and see what you come up with for that one. Okay. Number 8. In a board game, May gets a score of negative 8 the first round, 12 the second round, and negative 7 the third round. What is your score after the third round? So for a score, that's going to be a combination of all of her scores. So she had a negative 8 for 1, and then we're going to add to that a 12, and then we're going to add to that a negative 7. That's the 3 rounds of scores that she had, and that will give us her final score. Okay, so you have a simple equation there, a little math problem with negatives and positives to find out her final score. So I'll let you figure that one out because we got it set it up for you. And finally, number 9, what is the difference? So difference means we're going to do what? We're going to subtract 2 numbers. In elevation between Badwater Basin and Death Valley, here's a number, and Mount Whitney, here's a number. So I want to find the difference here. So if you think about a picture, I have a mountain like this and a valley down here, and I have a point here and the point here, and I'm trying to find the difference between those 2 points, and this valley one is at negative 282 and this one is at 14,505. Okay, so in one sense, sure, it's like subtracting, but think of it like this. It's 14,505 minus what? Minus a negative 282. And when we subtract a negative number, we end up adding. What is that? Why is that the case? If we take a look here, what's happening here? Well, think of this as being our 0 point. So the distance from here to here is 282. And the distance from here to here is 14,505. And we want the whole thing, so we're going to combine these two amounts to find out how far it is from there all the way to there. Right? It's that what we call that magnitude. It's going to be a positive answer. We're going to make that work out there. So I'll let you solve that. And that's really it for today. Have a great day. We'll see you next time.